One rainy morning, Tracy Abbott still can't shake the haunting feeling of the horrific kidnapping she just experienced. After being rescued from Havenhurst, she still can't forget the tense moments when she was held captive in a dark room by an unknown enemy. However, what keeps Tracy from sleeping well is the mystery of who is behind this kidnapping, someone she feels all too familiar with, but can't identify. While Tracy is struggling with these thoughts, Sharon Newman appears with important information. Sharon, who was also a victim of a similar kidnapping, has found important details that could help Tracy better understand the perpetrator. "I have some new information," Sharon says, her tone determined. "It seems that the person behind this kidnapping is related to someone you wouldn't expect." Sharon shares her recent investigations, which have led to clues related to Ellen Laurent, whom Tracy once knew. But Sharon also makes an important point: Ellen may not be the only one involved in this case. According to what Sharon has discovered, Ellen may just be part of a dangerous game that Martin Laurent, Ellen's twin brother, is also playing. This information makes Tracy very worried. She can't help but think about the possibility that Ellen could actually be Martin, who has been secretly monitoring and manipulating the Abbott family's lives for a long time. Tracy begins to sense that the kidnapping she was a victim of may be part of a much more complex plan, and the truth about Ellen, or rather Martin, may be behind it all. Chance and the fatal mistakes. Meanwhile, Chance Chancellor is also focusing all his efforts on finding clues, hoping to track down the mastermind behind the kidnapping. With his sharp investigatory skills, Chance quickly recognizes the ambiguities in previous cases that Ellen was involved in. He recognizes the unique characteristics that only a relative could have, but things get complicated when Chance begins to realize that Ellen may not be the one behind this incident. When Chance confronts Ellen, the person he believes to be the culprit, he is faced with conflicting feelings. Although he is certain that this is the person involved in the kidnapping, there are details that make him skeptical. Ellen's actions and behavior do not quite match what Chance has predicted, and a vague suspicion gradually forms in his mind. Is Ellen the mastermind, or is his twin brother, Martin, the real culprit? As Chance unravels the mystery of the case, Tracy can't stop thinking about what Sharon has revealed. She begins to connect the dots between Ellen and Martin, and doubts about the truth begin to creep into her mind. Tracy gradually realizes that Ellen may actually be Martin's twin brother, if Martin is still alive. Tracy faces the truth when Tracy finally discovers the details related to Ellen and Martin. She is faced with a painful truth. Ellen, the man she thought was a trustworthy man and part of her family, may not be who she thought he was. She remembers the times she spent with Ellen, the warm moments they shared. Now, she feels like those memories are no longer intact. Ellen, or rather Martin, might be the one who planned to harm her, and what she knew about him now seemed vague and unfamiliar. When Tracy realized that Ellen might actually be Martin's twin brother, she couldn't help but shed tears. "If Martin is alive, it means I didn't realize something important," Tracy sighed, feeling like everything was falling apart. She had loved and trusted Ellen, but now everything had changed. Tracy immediately contacted Jack to share her findings. She updated him on the theory Sharon had helped her develop, and couldn't hide the worry in her voice. Jack, who had always been worried and protective of Tracy, immediately sensed the gravity of the situation. "If Ellen really is Martin," Jack said, his voice filled with fear, "then she could be in great danger. I can't let her face this on her own." As Tracy shared her suspicions with Jack, he couldn't help but worry for her safety. Although Jack had always been strong and determined, facing the painful truth about Ellen had left him bewildered. The doubts about whether Ellen was Martin's twin had made Jack even more worried. His sister could be being stalked by a dangerous person without her knowing. The Abbott family situation is getting more tense than ever when Tracy Abbott decides to travel to Paris to confront Ellen, the man she thought was part of her family. However, this meeting is not an ordinary trip. Behind Tracy's calm demeanor are great concerns. Is she facing danger? And can Jack Abbott help Tracy turn the tables on Ellen with a new plan? Or will he decide to let the authorities handle things and prevent her from taking any risky action? Jack worries about Tracy's safety. Jack Abbott, Tracy's protective brother for years, can't help but worry when she announces that she is going to Paris to meet Alan. Even though Jack knows that Tracy is determined and wants to clear things up, he can't help but worry about the dangers she may face. The name Alan is no longer just a familiar man that Tracy once knew, but a dangerous one, especially when linked to Martin Laurent, the twin brother she never knew. Jack decides to meet Tracy and convince her to cancel this trip, because he believes that this meeting could be a trap set by Alan or Martin. "Tracy, you can't go alone. I can't put you in danger like that," Jack convinces, his voice worried and firm. But Tracy, although understanding Jack's concern, still insists that this is her only chance to face the truth. However, Jack is not someone who gives up easily. After some thought, he decides to accompany Tracy, not only to protect her, but also to deal with any situation that may arise. He proposes a new plan, not only to protect Tracy but also to find a way to expose Alan before things get too far. Chance discovers an important clue. Meanwhile, Chance Chancellor, the head of the investigation, discovers a crucial piece of evidence. He and his investigation team have traced information that Alan purchased a remote control device at a hardware store. This raises further suspicions that this person may be involved in the previous kidnapping, especially when the remote control device was found in Sharon and Phyllis's cell at Havenhurst. This clue sheds more light on previous suspicions about Alan's involvement in the incident. Chance believes that this is a sign that Alan is more than just an innocent as everyone thought. He immediately reports this discovery to Jack, making Jack even more worried and determined to protect Tracy. Threat to Ashley in Paris. Not only Tracy, but Ashley Abbott is also in Paris at this time. Her proximity to Alan makes Jack more worried than ever. Although Ashley is a strong woman and can protect herself, Jack cannot ignore the possibility that Alan will find a way to harm her. The situation in Paris is now more complicated than ever, when both Abbott sisters can be caught up in the evil plans of Alan or Martin. Jack is even more worried when he discovers that Alan may be moving to Paris, and Ashley is the next target. He decides to contact Ashley to warn her, asking her to be careful and stay away from any place where Alan may be present. Jack understands that not only Tracy, but the entire Abbott family is now being threatened by this person. Victor and the surprise announcement. While the dangers surround the Abbott family, Victor Newman is also preparing an important announcement that will not only surprise his family, but also completely change the current situation. No one can predict that Victor will reveal a shocking information about his prediction regarding the public disclosure of Aristotle, a decision that can cause turmoil for the entire Newman family. Victor has always been a strong and calculating man, but this time, he knows that his decision will not only affect him but also all his relatives. Despite his concerns about revealing the truth about Aristotle, Victor believes that this is the time to let everyone know clearly about what he is planning. Although knowing that this decision will be controversial, Victor does not hesitate to reveal the truth, even though this may cause his family members to feel surprised and uncomfortable. Jack and Tracy face the truth in Paris. Determined to accompany Tracy to Paris, Jack knows that meeting Alan will not be simple. They will have to face terrible secrets and unforeseen dangers. However, a new plan is about to be deployed, and Jack and Tracy must act quickly before Alan can come up with the next plan. When they arrive in Paris, the tension is palpable. They don't know where the killer is hiding, but they know they can't wait any longer. Tracy is determined to confront Alan and expose the truth, but Jack is always close by, ready to protect her from any danger. With Jack's new discoveries, his new plan, and Tracy's determination, the Abbott family faces a great challenge. The threat from Alan or Martin is not only a fight for survival, but also a fight with deep secrets from the past. Can they turn the tables before it's too late? And can Victor reveal the truth about Aristotle without throwing his family into chaos? The Abbott family's fight is not only a fight against external enemies, but also a fight against the darkness within themselves. Big decisions, constant danger, and secrets that can't be hidden forever all will create fascinating plots on the young and the restless. With all the secrets gradually revealed, Tracy must face an uncomfortable truth about the man she trusted. And the journey to find the truth about Martin, Alan, and the dark conspiracies is still far from over. She will have to continue to fight not only to protect herself, but also to uncover the long-hidden secrets of her family. Life in Genoa City is never peaceful, and this time, members of the Abbott, Newman and Winters families are caught in a war of tension, intrigue and secrecy. Relationships that seemed strong now face terrible challenges, as the characters must fight not only against external enemies but also against themselves. Billy Abbott and the secret plot. Billy Abbott has always been an emotional and sometimes impulsive person. However, this time, he decides to carry out a secret plot to achieve his goals. Although no one knows exactly what Billy's plan is, it seems that he is looking to exploit the weaknesses of others to gain an advantage in the ongoing power struggle in Genoa City. With his reckless nature, Billy does not hesitate to do whatever it takes to regain control. However, will Billy's plot succeed, or will it turn into a painful fall? Sharon and Tracy unmask Alan Laurent while Billy is secretly carrying out his plan. Sharon Newman and Tracy Abbott are unraveling a shocking secret involving Alan Laurent, the man they have trusted for so long. Sharon, with her intelligence and ingenuity, realizes that Alan is not who he claims to be. Behind the name Alan Laurent is actually Martin Laurent, a man the Abbott family never expected. Tracy, upon learning this truth, is so shocked that she can't believe it. The man she once loved and trusted is now the culprit behind the evil plots. Sharon and Tracy face the terrible truth together, and Tracy cannot help but feel betrayed. This is not only a battle with Martin, but also an internal battle for Tracy herself, as she must accept that the Alan she loved may not be the man she thought. Things are now more complicated than ever, and Tracy will have to deal with not only family relationships but also dark secrets that she never expected. Victor and Michael, the plan to bring the enemy out of hiding while Sharon and Tracy are unraveling the secrets behind Alan Laurent. Victor Newman is also preparing for his grand plan. In a tense conversation with Michael Baldwin, Victor shares his fierce rivalry with Aristotle Dumas, a formidable opponent whom Victor has always considered his sworn enemy. With careful calculation, Victor plans to lure Aristotle out of hiding with an extremely sophisticated trap. However, Victor's plan is not simple. It requires the participation of Devon and Lily Winters, whom Victor believes will play an important role in helping him achieve his goal. Devon and Lily, although somewhat concerned about the potential dangers of this plan, also understand that if they do not act, they may be the ones to suffer greater consequences. When Devon heard about Victor's plan, he couldn't help but feel worried and uneasy. Could he completely trust Victor, or would this venture lead to unforeseen losses? In a touching turn of events, Phyllis Summers collapses in Nick Newman's arms, but he soon pushes her away to talk to Sharon. However, Phyllis and Sharon have both endured the terrible ordeal of being imprisoned for so long. The empathy between the two women is undeniable, and they understand the pain the other must have endured. Phyllis and Sharon decide to sit down together to discuss the challenges they have been through. They agree to set new rules for their relationship, which has been marred by past conflicts. Can they overcome their differences and build a lasting relationship, or will secrets continue to tear them apart? Abbott and Claire Newman decide to break the rules they have set before. Both, with their troublemaking natures, begin to show unexpected sides to their personalities. This leaves Summer feeling abandoned, and she can't help but worry about the change in her relationship with Kyle. Kyle and Claire, with their freedom and assertiveness, begin to create tension between themselves and those around them. Can Summer maintain her relationship with Kyle, or will she face difficult decisions when she is drawn into the emotional battle between him and Claire? Every character on The Young and the Restless is facing great challenges, from Billy's secret plots, Sharon and Tracy's shocking revelation about Alan Laurent, to Victor's plan to defeat Aristotle. Genoa City is no longer a peaceful place, but a battlefield where every relationship and decision can change the fate of each person. Can the Abbotts, Newmans, and Winters overcome all these challenges and find the truth, or will they be caught in a spiral from which they cannot escape? Life in Genoa City is never short of drama. Political intrigue, family secrets, and tangled relationships have always made The Young and the Restless a hit. Things have recently gotten tense again as Jack Abbott and Victor Newman continue their feud. Diane Jenkins puts on an elaborate show, and Billy Abbott faces secrets he can no longer hide. Here's an inside look at the tense developments in the lives of these characters. Jack Abbott and Nikki Newman, the inevitable clash. Jack Abbott, the dominant man in the Abbott family, has always stood his ground and protected what's his. However, he's met with a powerful and cunning rival in Victor Newman, who's constantly trying to interfere in everything from Jabot's business to his son Kyle's love life. The rivalry between Jack and Victor is nothing new, but this time, Jack has decided he can't back down any longer. A heated argument ensues between Jack and Nikki Newman, Victor's wife, when Nikki disagrees with Jack's criticism of Victor's underhanded schemes. Nikki, though charming, is not easily swayed by political confrontations. She always stands by her husband, Victor, and when Jack criticizes Victor's interference in Jabot, Nikki does not hesitate to speak up for him. "Jack, you have no idea what's going on. Victor always does what he thinks is best for his family," Nikki says, her voice firm and confident. Jack disagrees and retorts, "What's good for Victor's family is not good for mine. He's always trying to control everything and sabotage Jabot." This confrontation is just the prelude to a larger war, as Jack decides that he will not let Victor have easy access to his business. Both have valid reasons for their stance, but this only adds to the tension between them. While Jack and Victor's political arguments continue, Diane Jenkins, a woman with a troubled past in Genoa City, is planning another game. She decides to create a drama to achieve her goals. This time, Diane may be playing nice with her enemies or simply a little trick to prepare for the opening of the newly renovated Abbott mansion. Diane, a clever and scheming woman, always knows how to make people around her pay attention to her. She knows that how to rebuild her image in the eyes of others is extremely important. And at this moment, Diane decides to take advantage of the opportunity to gain the attention of the Abbott family, at the same time rebuilding her relationship with them, especially with Jack. Will this drama help Diane win Jack's trust, or will it only complicate things? Although the Abbott family is well aware of Diane's past and the tricks she has used, they cannot help but appreciate her ability to manipulate situations. The question is whether Diane can maintain this drama long enough to achieve her goals, or will it lead to shock and rifts in the Abbott family? Billy Abbott, Conspiracy and Secrets. Billy Abbott, who has always been prone to acting on emotion, now has a big plan. He shares with Phyllis Summers a strategic discussion about his alliance with Aristotle Dumas, a longtime rival of the Newman family. The talk of this alliance is making everyone suspicious about Billy's true motives. Although Billy has always tried to keep his actions secret, the appearance of Aristotle in his life cannot help but make people suspicious. Billy, always a complex character, may be working with Aristotle not only for his own benefit but also to get revenge on the Newmans, something he has never forgotten. But can Phyllis accept the secrets Billy is hiding? She has always known Billy better than anyone, and she begins to worry about what he is not telling her. Sally Spectra, a character full of character, is not one to be fooled. She begins to push Billy into a corner and urges him to be honest. Sensing that Billy is keeping dangerous secrets, Sally decides not to let him get away with it. "Billy, I know you are hiding something. You have to admit that you are planning something, right?" Sally demands, her eyes piercing. Billy is cornered, and Sally is almost certain that he still harbors a desire for revenge against the Newmans. The big question is, will Billy own up to his plans and face the consequences, or will he continue to deny the truth and lead those around him into danger? Conclusion: complicated relationships and secret conspiracies. Every character on The Young and the Restless is caught in a whirlwind of intrigue and conspiracy. Jack Abbott and Nikki Newman continue to fight for power, Diane Jenkins plots a plot to achieve her goals, and Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra are moving toward an inevitable confrontation. Secrets, personal motives, and complicated relationships create an atmosphere of tension that cannot be broken. The decisions these characters make will affect not only their lives, but also their families and those around them. The rivalry between Jack and Victor, the murky relationship between Billy and Aristotle, and the drama Diane is creating all lead to a no-holds-barred war in Genoa City. Will secrets be exposed, or will the characters continue to play tricks, prolonging the shock for the Abbotts, Newmans, and their loved ones? Time will tell. Subscribe to YNR for the latest news on our channel.